Okay, so before we get into how to leverage the system, how to leverage it using network effects and the culture loop to create an entire referral engine where we have the early adopters bring in the mainstream. First, we're going to talk about propellants. And the reason we're going to start here first is because if you notice this system, the way we get this whole engine running really relies on early adopters coming in and becoming part of the system before they can start engaging with the mainstream and having them come to us. So propellants are kind of like the way for us to prime the pump to get it flowing. And then once we have it primed, then the system takes over and then we no longer need to rely on it. So that's how it should be done. Propellants, theoretically, how I see it, should be a temporary means to attract the early adopters faster, get them into your system, get the system engaged, and then no longer have to rely on it. You can pull back, you can start spending less, and in fact, you could probably spend nothing later. Tesla famously spent $0 on their marketing for several years. So that is the effect that we want to create. So what are propellants? Propellants are those things that let you get attention at will. So it's typically paid. So for example, advertising, I'm going to pay Facebook or Google, and for whatever much I pay them, I can show up for searches or show up in someone's feed. When we stop paying, the flow stops. So really, we're not building anything here. There's no, like with the system, we're going to build a network effect. We're going to build culture. We're going to build some shared meaning. But really nothing gets built with just propellants. So there's a lot of downsides to it. Here are some examples of propellants. Advertising, mailer, email marketing, billboards, social media boosts, direct response marketing. SEO isn't up here. SEO, because it's not at will, it's actually relatively slow. But we'll talk about SEO right after this in the next module. So most propellants are going to have these downsides, which is why we want to move away from them and move towards this system. There is one propellant that doesn't have a downside. It is very sustainable, and I'll show you exactly what that is and how to build that later. But for now, just understand that with most propellants, attention is bought, not earned. So when we buy attention, we're not actually aligning with a belief system profile. We're not coming in to create a good meaning. We don't have these filters created. We're not doing the process of going to the extremes. Like we're not becoming better for anyone. We're straight up buying attention, and it's not going to create that many good meanings. It's not going to create much positive feelings, or it's going to be very rare if a feeling is positive. And that's why today a lot of propellants see very mixed results. Audience gets numbers to the stimulus. So the number of advertising is crazy now. So it's easier than ever to run an ad. If you've boosted a social media post, congrats, you're now an advertiser. So right now, the world has more advertisers than ever. There's more communication going on than ever. And people are ignoring things more than ever. So right now, the audience is extremely numb to propellants, to advertising. How many times do you get stuff in the mail? Do you read all of them? No, they're probably tossed in the trash. The audience is very jaded, very numb, and it's getting number and number every day. Propellants are going to attract the wrong people. So we're not creating a shared meaning. We're not creating a shared culture. We don't have a shared set of things that that similar people are going to gather around. So we're going to attract a lot of different kinds of people. We're going to attract price shoppers, and eventually this whole system gets directed in the wrong way rather than being something intentional. Does not build culture or the network effect, so that kind of ties into the idea of this larger thing doesn't ever get built. That also ties in with it allows us to temporarily avoid internal excellence. We can rely on propellants for a while, avoid having the need to create this meaning, to help people, to work on how we help people with feelings. It lets us avoid all this just because we can pay someone to show up. There's going to be constant increasing costs. So audience getting number is one of them. The cost for engagement now is higher than ever. And platforms need to make money. So when they need to make money, what do? They just raise the cost to the advertisers. And finally, it creates dependency. So it kind of ties in with everything. when you go down the route of relying on propellants and you've neglected this for so long, and your organization grows on it, you've increased costs through it, the idea of just removing propellants is impossible. So what you need to do instead is start creating this system, keep doing propellants while you can, and then gradually wean off of it until you let this system take over. So let's take a look at in depth into more of the propellants and break down exactly what there are.